So friends, Rudy Giuliani can't even do bankruptcy right. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. Well, friends, Rudy Giuliani is nothing if not consistent. Consistently lying, cheating, stealing, breaking the law. So Rudy is criminally indicted in multiple jurisdictions, including being a charged RICO defendant in Georgia. Rudy has been disbarred in New York. He's pending disbarment in Washington, D.C. Rudy is an unindicted co-conspirator in the federal prosecution of Donald Trump in D.C. for trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Rudy Giuliani has been sued by his own lawyer for failing to pay legal fees of around $1 million. The federal government is after Rudy for his failure to pay back taxes. And of course, there was the massive money judgment entered against him for defaming and endangering the lives of those two Georgia state election workers, Shaye and Ruby Freeman. And now, because Rudy Giuliani wouldn't even be truthful with the bankruptcy court judge, Judge Shawn Lane, Judge Lane just tossed out Rudy Giuliani's bankruptcy case, so he will not be able to avail himself of the protection of bankruptcy. What a guy, that Rudy Giuliani. Let's start with the new reporting. This from the Associated Press. Headline: Judge throws out Rudy Giuliani's bankruptcy case, says he flouted process with lack of transparency. And that article begins: a judge threw out Rudy Giuliani's bankruptcy case on Friday, finding that the former New York City mayor had flouted process with a lack of transparency. U.S. bankruptcy judge Shawn Lane formalized the decision after saying he was leaning toward doing so on Wednesday. Lawyers for Giuliani and his two biggest creditors, two former election workers he was found to have defamed, had agreed that dismissing the case was the best way forward. The dismissal ends Giuliani's pursuit of bankruptcy protection, but doesn't absolve him of his debts. His creditors can now pursue other legal remedies to recoup at least some of the money they're owed, such as getting a court order to seize his apartments and other assets. Dismissing the case will also allow the ex-mayor to pursue an appeal in the defamation case, which arose from his efforts to overturn Donald Trump's 2020 election loss. Judge Lane said evidence in the case showed that Giuliani had failed to meet obligations of financial transparency required of a debtor, and that dismissing the bankruptcy was in the best interests of the people to whom the ex-mayor owes money. Quote, the lack of financial transparency is particularly troubling given concerns that Mr. Giuliani has engaged in self-dealing and that he has potential conflicts of interest that would hamper the administration of his bankruptcy case, Judge Lane wrote in a 22-page decision. The judge said that most debtors will seek to remedy such problems when alerted to them, but, by contrast, Mr. Giuliani has done nothing. The dismissal includes a 12-month ban on Giuliani filing again for bankruptcy protection. Giuliani filed for bankruptcy last December, days after the two ex-Georgia election workers, Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Shaye, won a $148 million defamation judgment against him. They said Giuliani's targeting of them because of Trump's lies about the 2020 election being stolen led to death threats that made them fear for their lives. The filing froze collection of the debt. So now, those two Georgia state election workers, Shaye and Ruby Freeman, about whom Giuliani lied, endangering their lives, and about whom Rudy Giuliani said, just look at them, look at them. They look like drug dealers passing vials of heroin or cocaine back and forth, when it was a mother and a daughter passing a ginger mint to one another. Those two women will be able to immediately begin using all legal mechanisms available to seize Rudy Giuliani's assets to satisfy the money judgment a jury entered against Rudy Giuliani. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.